What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Pavlov Scrubs podcast. I'm your co-host and procrastinator Explosion. I'm joined here today by my good co-host Alan. Say what's up.
Hola.
And I'm joined by a special guest, Droid the Not So
Very
Humanoid.
special. Hi, I'm Droid.
And that's the end of the
Yes.
podcast. Thank you. Have a good day.
Yeah,
Bye.
bye, everybody.
Anybody. Anyway, so Droid, how's your day going today?
It's going great. How about you?
It's pretty good. Alan, how's your day?
I got dragged into a Actually, I dragged you into a podcast 10 minutes before we were supposed to, or
Yeah,
after.
I was okay.
you know?
Okay. Listen,
He was playing Rust on
I
Discord.
was
I could
making
see him on Discord.
I was making some heavy
I saw
Rust
that.
plays there. Heavy Rust plays.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I literally fucking murked two kids. They were horrible, but they said GGs and they're respectful, so I left them like 128 of the bullets. Anyway, back to the podcast. So today is going to be a little less of an interview and more of a discussion. We're going to be discussing here a whole bunch of different topics, and we're just going to try to kind of like juice the topics as much as we can. So without
You
further
the
ado,
topics. There's a
first
milk.
we're gonna get the tiny bit of interview for George, so people can I guess get to know him a little better, understand him. So
Everyone knows me.
first of all, how did you find yourself getting on this podcast?
I begged you last night in suburbs,
Mm-hmm.
and you said yes, and now I'm here.
which I had no say in. He legitimately told
No,
me
no. I said Droid is going to be on the podcast if you're okay with that, and you're like,
he
okay.
told me that like 18 hours ago. Okay, it was
It was like 10
less than
PM.
24 hours.
Okay.
Whatever. But yeah.
So basically, Droid was asking to be on the podcast, and I told him, you have to be on tomorrow's podcast. And he's like, what? No, well, I can just be on a different one. I'm like, nope, you got to be on tomorrow. And I was joking, but I really wanted to fuck with him about it.
Wait, you were joking?
Yeah, you didn't have to be on this one.
What? Said you had reservations. You had people reserved.
Yeah. I said people had reserves. They. Anyway,
Never come back to the podcast.
good. We didn't want you here in the first place.
Alright.
Okay. So before we ask you really the one and only serious question that we really have for you, do you believe that you are indeed the budget Kamoli?
No, I believe I'm the best Pavlov player.
What qualifies as a
everyone.
Kamoli though?
What
Is like cannoli with camoles?
I don't
I don't
know.
know what I just said.
Is people say that
Wait, what?
because they think I'm worse than Kamoli, right?
And you do
But
it.
it's just not true.
You play exactly like him, and that's why they say it.
I don't see the resemblance.
Only thing I know about like Kamoli that I remember, like I mean I've known him for a while, right? And the one thing I remember clearly of Kamoli, whenever I think of him, is just the jiggle. Like he just jiggles.
See, I
He's
don't
like
do
a
that.
jiggly jello of jiggling. You know?
Yeah.
But I mean it's a strategy. If it makes it work, it works. So
get that banana out of here. Get it out of here. Get it the fuck out of here. Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a really shitty beginning
to the Christian podcast.
Yeah. Didn't you say no cursing?
No, I didn't say no cursing. I said we're all 17 plus here. We can all curse.
I mean, Droid.
just the little
17
nod.
and Droid here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're
really,
all
the serious part of the podcast, the interesting part. I want to know about the teams that you've been on and the each experience that they've come with. I really want you to just like, what were they like? Like go in order. Your first team to now, and what they were like.
Okay, I started off on Vortex. You know, I joined them. They're the first people to ask me, and it was fun.
How did you get on Vortex? Like, what exactly led up to that?
I joined the Arctic tryout thing, and I demolished everyone. So Sumashi messaged me, asked if I want to try out for Vortex, and then yeah, I got in.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was kind of similar boat for me when I first joined Black Ice. Except instead of joining a recruit lobby, Messiah kind of just messaged me and was like, "Hey, you want to join this team?" This was like a year ago, and I was like, "Uh, sure." And yeah, there we go. Then I was on Black Ice. So
Mm.
yeah, similar, very similar. Like I definitely, totally had to destroy a lot of people. I was definitely qualified. Totally, yeah. Definitely didn't have to show
Yeah,
off my skills like this guy did.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
and so what led you to joining Vortex? Was there something that like pushed you away, or was there something that pulled you towards Voltron? Was it a push or a pull
Uh,
factor?
so well, I was asked to join Voltron like in the middle of the season,
Mm-hmm.
or like a little bit after it started, but I refused. I wanted to finish it out with Vortex because I think it's kind of a dick move to just leave.
Yeah.
You know, I
Yeah.
stayed, then I left because I wanted to join Voltron because I think I want to win, and I think all their players are better, and I like them. They're good.
Yeah, that's fair enough. So, I guess like our first like discussion thing that we can all do is how we got our names. I know we talked a little bit about Alan's, but in the last podcast. But Droid, how did you come to getting Droid? Were there other names before that, or?
Yes. Okay. So first, I had Alter Droid.
Mm,
Okay. I just thought it sounded cool. I wanted something to do with droid, so I did that. And then, like a couple of years ago, like 1 or 2 years ago, I was playing Jailbreak. I made some enemies, right? Because I would RDM a lot, and I didn't want people to like, because I would get kicked automatically if I joined, because they would know my name and they would just automatically kick me. So I changed it to just Droid, and then so they wouldn't automatically kick me. And after that, I just kept it because if I changed it back, I felt like people wouldn't remember me, so I just kept it.
mm.
Hmm.
But people think it has to do with Star Wars. And I don't even like
Yeah.
Star Wars.
Damn, that's
Yeah.
you're throwing shade, yo. Dino First is gonna come for your ass.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't. I'm in kind of. I'm on the fence with Star Wars. There's some good parts, but there's a fair bit of bad parts too. So
Yeah,
down.
I mean Star Wars has it's good. It's a very big series. It's a wide variety, but
Yeah.
you know, moving on. I'm gonna go next. So, my very first gamer tag was Dynamite Kid 23, and I spelled it like an idiot. One
What
because
the heck?
uh I didn't know how to spell dynamite, so I spelled it dynamite with like Dyno. It wasn't even like because I know there was a team called Dynamite and they spelt it right. I spelt it with like regular dynamite, but just with an O instead of an A. And that was like my Xbox gamer tag when I was like 6 years old. So I was very little and I thought it was a really cool name. And I slowly was like moving on in the world, and Advanced Warfare had just came out, and they introduced this whole new system with like clans, and it was like a lot more like organized and shit. And so basically, you could actually invite people, and then they would get this gamer tag, and then if you like did events, your gamer tag would change colors. I think we only got ours to yellow, but I know that there was like color like pink and red and a whole bunch of different colors that you could get
Yes. Welcome to Pavlov
the
Scrubs.
clan.
Advanced Modern Warfare.
Well, no, but we're just talking about our names in general, like just about the people. We want to get to we want the people to know about us and whatnot. And
Sure.
then we can talk about Pavlov. But I went there and I created a team with my older brother called Team Fade. Um, and basically Fade Dynamite Kid 23 didn't work. And like the 23 was for some reason like so important. I think it was because my dad really hyped up Michael Jordan a whole lot for me as a little kid. Um and I wasn't like born in the Michael Jordan era either. Like so I've never seen a single game of his, but he really hyped him up and I was like 23 is really important. Without the 23, like the name doesn't have any meaning. So I was like I need to get a new name. And I was like I was just thinking, as like a 12-year-old or 13-year-old, Explosion was just kind of like a really nice name. I liked it. It had a good ring to it, and I kind of kept with it for a very, very long time up until Pavlov. And then I switched it to Twitch the Kid, and I had a bunch of people telling me, like, you're like a teenager, not a kid. Why the fuck is your name Twitch the Kid? And I'm like, I just like the name. And then basically it got to the point where everybody just kept saying the same thing. I was like, fuck you guys, my name's Explosion again. Um, and for I guess a lot of people don't remember like me being Twitch the Kid. There's a few people out there that do. Uh, but yeah, that's basically my whole name origin. Alan, what's your whole?
Ooh, okay, so Club Penguin. First game I ever played, all right, or like a Flash game I ever played. It was the best. I don't even remember what year I started, but this is before I got into Minecraft, right? And I was really young. I must have been like what, like second grade, first grade. It was great. But I think what I did is I tried to put in Alan, which is my name, and then it said Alan was already taken. Here's another name. So it was Alan1958. So like, you know what? Okay, I'll do it. So then that was my that's my name for like 2 years. Alan1958. Then I got Minecraft. I had the exact same name, and but people started. It turns out it was a trend to put your date of birth after your name. So people were thinking, being a kid or whatever, they thought I was born in 1958. And me being a kid, I was like, no, I'm not. I wasn't born then. So, I changed my name to the creative name. No, I think I actually legitimately, like, it was so long. It took me like a month trying to figure out a name because I wanted my name to be important. I wanted mine to be memorable. I wanted mine to be amazing. So I did Alan, just Alan.
Very memorable.
Yeah. And then I had that for like 7 years or something. I had for a while, like a long while, like maybe not 7, but like 4 or 5. And then I had a phase in my life where I liked being toxic and honestly annoying as just terrible. I was the worst kid you could ever imagine. You think this guy's annoying? No, 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 no. I was horrible. Okay. So me rolling with it, I said, you know what? I'm gonna call myself Alan's toxic because I'm toxic, yo, bro. I'm like the toxic man. And anyways, that was probably like sometime in middle school. And then maybe like a year or two before now, um, I was like, I'm kind of past that. I'm tired of, being Alan is toxic when I'm not that toxic anymore. So being the creative, amazing creativity in my head, I just call myself Alan. So there we go. In some things I'm Alan, in some things I'm Alan, just Alan, but anyways, I'm Alan. Hi, my name's Alan.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Well,
that's my name.
Okay, so now that we really got that out of the way, we're gonna go into our Pavlov section of questions and shit. So, Alan, you wanted to know why Pavlov was called Pavlov. Is this correct?
Yeah, I'm actually really curious because I have no idea. I'm not sure if it's lore. I'm not sure if he just really liked dogs and because like Pavlov, the physicist or not physicist, the scientist guy who like conditioned his dogs. So I was like, oh yeah, he must Dave must be a very historical science man,
No,
clearly.
no, it's got nothing to do with that. I have actually asked him personally for the podcast, and he answered.
Wait, you asked him?
I
He
asked
answered?
him,
Okay.
and he
Wow.
answered. And so I have a whole document about it if I don't want to drop my controller. But basically, the main point of the document is that he, as a kid, played COD 1 on PC, and he really liked this map called Pavlov House.
Wow.
And so the initial idea of the game was going to be you were like locked in apartments. It was like because I think Pavlov House, as he was describing it, was like a single lane, and you were shooting at people. And the initial idea of the game was going to be rifles and snipers only, and basically what they were going to be doing is this World War II like maps and ideas, and but you were going to be like locked in this apartment. The
Hmm.
problem with that though, was there were no World War II, or there weren't a lot of World War II assets on the market. So instead, he decided to take the route to a more smooth and modern shooter, and that's how really Pavlov came to be. And that also really explains the World War II update, because so many people are asking why, and that was the initial idea, was that the game was going to be a World War II game, but he didn't whatchamacallit. There were no assets, so like, how are you supposed to make a World War II game without World War II assets? Now they have people who make assets and whatnot, and that's really it. He just liked a map called Pavlov House, and so you called it Pavlov VR. Um,
Yeah.
and that's it. I
Wow.
mean, I think it's nice to know. It's the more you know. And one day, I'm hoping that this podcast gets big enough that Dave Vills himself will join it. I mean,
Oh
he
yeah, an interview with. Well, I mean, apparently his voice is something of very like varied speculation. It's been like some people don't know who or what he is, but apparently nobody's heard his voice or like his actual like normal voice. But
yeah.
yeah,
So
What?
yeah,
well, there's a few people out there that definitely have to, unless he uses the voice changer in front of
yeah.
his team and
No,
whatnot.
I was about to say, he just uses sign language in VR chat with his index. you know?
Yeah,
yeah.
but like, I'm really hope, like, the out of all people that I want to be, like, people on podcasts, he's definitely up there, along with Chill Step and a few thinking members, Jaffum. Those are like the biggest people that I want, because they, as far as I'm concerned, they're the most interesting people, because I know a lot about them, or I know that they have a lot to say, and I can get it out of them with very carefully worded
Intense
questions.
interrogation tactics. no,
Where is she?
no, but I think I do like for me if I was to have somebody on podcast. Sorry, Droid,
Huh?
like that we're
Yeah.
kind of just ignoring you. But
I don't
the
care.
the main person I'd really like on podcasts, I'm all for people who are like the best in the game, best in the league, you know. But I also think there's a
That's
lot of
me.
hidden gems in there. And I think some of the there's hidden gems like that aren't necessarily the best per se of like raw skill or time or whatever, but definitely have their own strategy. Or like Handy Clapper, he's
Yeah.
great. I
Oh
love
yeah,
him.
he would be super. It would be a
Yeah,
great interview.
Snoopy or Snoopinator, he's great. Then there's you could also have like people. So you if you've been in the Pavlov League for a while, you know that there's kind of all of the, or at least it kind of more used to be before, but not so much now. It used to
Cameron
be a lot
ass.
where it, but there used to be a lot of like
Sorry.
almost like mafia families, you know, of like different clans or groups of or houses or whatever you call them of like groups of people on teams and sister teams. So you had like the Underworld family, you had the Voltron and Rect families, then you had like the Arctic family, and then but now they seem to have all like split up now,
Oh
especially recently.
shit. Yeah.
But
Good segue into that.
yeah, good segue.
Good segue. Arctic, boy band gone wrong. Am I
The
right?
fam jam.
Am I right? So, just
I
to add a little
mean,
context before we have really a discussion about it. Um,
do you want
a
me to take over
few.
because
Yeah, I
I have
mean,
more firsthand experience with it,
you
so
do, and you can add that experience, but I'm just gonna explain real quick, just some context, right? It's
all right.
basic context you can add on to it, and then Druid can add whatever
Yes.
his chip is. So, for context, a few months ago, about, I would want to say 1.5 ish, Team NP, or the Eight Basils, now split up. Now, I heard there was a little bit of internal drama, and we're not really going to get into that because I really don't want to get into the drama, but they split up. Now, recently, a few weeks ago, Dream Team, one of the oldest standing teams, if not the oldest standing team, split up for them, and Black Ice and Old Penguins went with them. And as far as I'm concerned, as Boris has said, each member of each team had their reasons to leave. Like each one of them had a reason to leave. And so I think it seems like there was no like humongous drama that's not public, right? But as far as the public eye can see, Arctic is having a internal problem right now,
Yeah.
and whatever that may be, I'm hoping the best for them and that they can sort things out.
Yeah, for people who don't have very much like specificity like on the league and like league dynamics and stuff, Arctic was well known of being one of the biggest in terms of like sister teams and like raw people in the Discord, and I wouldn't say necessarily leverage in the league, but they definitely had a lot more individuals and people, not necessarily like a top tier skill ceiling. They had a wide range, but mainly I think at their peak they had let's see, they had Old Penguins, Black Ice, Arctic, Dream Team, um,
Vortex.
Vortex.
Of course.
Did I say Nightmare or Nightmare 8 Basils, whatever?
Nightmare 8 Basils TMNP. That
So that's
team went
already
through
6.
another name. Yeah.
Yeah,
And now they're down to what, 2?
yeah, Vortex and Arctic,
And I mean,
and that's I don't know. I'm not gonna get into it or like the specifics or anything, but one thing for sure though is that it's a big like, I wouldn't say blow to Arctic per se, because Arctic like hosts a bunch of events. They currently have like a Mosin competition where you can win a Mosin. They do like
a
open
real life
Pavlov,
fucking
and they got,
Mosin. That's so crazy.
yeah, and they got it. They got a map making it right now. It's for $10K or $10,000, I think it was.
Yeah,
Or if you make map
the
for
total
league,
prize ends up to 10,000. But
yeah,
like the
first
first
place is
place is
5,000.
5,000. I think
Yeah,
second place is 3,000. Third place is 2,000. I think every other place wins just prizes, I think.
I don't know, but either way, and they also do server hosting and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But
they do. So
yeah, they've grown a lot, and I don't know. It's just I don't know. Being in there, we had a great like dynamic. You know, everybody loved hanging out with each other, or mostly, and it was I don't know. It kind of bummed me out when all this stuff started happening. But you know, every team needs to, like, has their own priorities, and every team wants to do their own thing. So
I
you
mean,
know,
yeah, and I think it's really weird because Arctic really kind of pride themselves as being the largest community, and
yeah,
being the largest community, it's not just the people that are playing with you every day, but it's also the teams that they hide. I mean,
and the dynamic
a
between them
lot,
too.
yeah, and exactly. But people also have to look at this. They used to, or they might still have. They had people that would literally not ringer against them. Um, they and I don't know if that's because they asked them, or these people just had Arctic bleeding from their veins, like they literally were just Arctic blood all the way. Like, there's ringers out there that aren't on teams that don't have time. And if you were to play against an Arctic team, that ringer would not ringer for you, and that's completely fine. Everybody has their own preferences, but I just really want to like put into perspective. That's how big Arctic got into. So it does seem like
Yeah,
a humongous blow. Droid, do
I
you
don't
have
necessarily. I don't
I
know.
mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
Droid.
Droid,
that's
do you
kind
have
of
anything
weird,
to
the
add on?
ringering thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I haven't heard about the ringing thing personally, but honestly, that like every team has that. You know, if you
I'm not
use
gonna
like,
name names, but I know there's 2 to 3 people that would not ringer against.
well, yeah, I mean, if you're on used to be on a team in like an Arctic or Arctic sister team, you wouldn't necessarily want to face them. But I mean, like when I left Black Ice, I think I ringered against them every single time. It was legitimately an accident where I didn't know who I was ringering until I got into the lobby, and turns out I'm facing Black Ice, and that was like happened 3 times. It's just, I don't know. But
You really
yeah,
need to
aside from the
ask
point though.
before you ringer.
Yeah, well, I just ringer to ringer. You know, I don't ringer to
Yeah,
like be like, oh, I'm gonna play for this team specifically to fight this team. No, I just like
yeah,
playing.
and I get that, and that's why kind of like it's really crazy to have like people who will not like there's obviously they would ringer for other teams, they wouldn't ringer against Arctic, and that's crazy.
Yeah, I don't
In my
see
opinion.
the problem with ringering against your own team. I feel like that's totally fine. The point of being a ringer is, play and have fun. I don't
Yeah,
think it matters if you're against your own team or not.
yeah. And I get that, but it was like that's like 6 teams that they wouldn't ring her again. They wouldn't ring her
Oh,
against.
it was the whole
It
thing.
was
Oh,
the
I thought it was
whole
just,
Arctic fam.
huh?
The 3 people that I know would not do it.
Well, I don't know about
I've only seen one of them actually ringer, so you know how
yeah.
you know how that goes, right? Whoop, but as far as I'm concerned, it's not that big of a problem, especially if Arctic isn't specifically asking these people to not
I
ringer
don't think
against
they would
them.
do that.
I don't think they would either. If
Yeah.
they are, I think that's a problem because because they have influence. They have people on there. They have multiple people on there now who are on the mod team and all this stuff. And I think um that that that's a little bit shady if
I
they
don't,
do. But
but that's all
I don't think they do.
speculation.
It's
Yeah,
That's,
pure
I don't think
speculation
they
I
in
do
which
that.
I don't
wouldn't.
actually believe in it. But I do think is it possible? Yes, but anything's possible. Like, you know,
Sure.
anyway.
So Droid, I wasn't aware that you actually like. I think I heard about it, but like, when was the time frame that you went from Vortex to Voltron? Because I don't remember that.
Well, after the end of the season, I pretty
Oh,
much left instantly,
okay.
and then
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I'll join.
So from like, as like, do you still talk to Vortex or anything like that? Do you
No,
still?
no,
No. Oh. So then,
no.
what's your view on like the whole Arctic thing? Do you like, not that you would necessarily know anything. I'm just asking like more so like what's your stance on it? Like what do you think about it? Just from an outsider who used to be insider point of view.
I think it's all stupid.
That's a fair point. Yeah. I
You said what
mean,
was stupid? I'm sorry.
just the
Just
whole
blanked out.
thing,
What,
just
the
in general.
league itself or
Pavlov
Arctic?
drama,
Oh,
Pavlov drama.
Pavlov
Yeah.
drama.
Arctic
Okay.
drama.
Yeah,
That's
I mean, but people are gonna have drama. You know, there's people who are
Yeah.
completely different. It's whether or not they make that thing a very public thing. Because I know, or I've seen a bunch of people who um who go around actively spreading their drama when it's between them and another captain or them and
Yeah.
another player, and it's got nothing to do with their teams and it's got nothing to do with their players. Now, obviously, if someone's being a dickwad
Yeah.
to this specific person, but if it's just like if someone just if you disagree with someone because of their opinions and then you're going around telling people
Yeah.
their opinions when it's really not your stance or your place, I think it's a big problem. You're just spreading drama to spread drama, and that's,
Yeah.
like you said, George,
I mean,
it's really stupid.
that's just when it doesn't become fun. Like the whole point of Pavlov and having a league, it's not to make money. Like no one has Pavlov as their job. The point is to have fun and everyone compete against each other in this game. So
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a waste of time to have
Yeah.
drama.
Yeah, speaking of competing, uh there are quite a few new teams joining. As far as I've seen about 4 to 5 new teams. And then I guess a fifth one would be Night Shift. But there's Los Manos, Catastrophe, Graceful Tigers. Um, who else is NA teams?
And those are active,
Condemned.
right?
Yeah, these are ones that are active or confirmed to go active. Night Shift is
Yeah.
confirmed to go active because
Yeah.
they have a almost full roster. They're just not all registered, I guess. Um,
Yeah.
but
And then we
like,
have a bunch of other teams. I know some of them are inactive, but I mean, like, even if like a few of those, we still have like what, like 30, 40 total people or
there's
teams.
about 44 total active teams.
Yeah, I just find that amazing that
Yeah,
there's,
that's
you know,
good. Um,
Yeah.
but
it's like,
what does it really do? Do we got like? I have a personal opinion on what it means for the league. My personal opinion is it's really good, but the league really needs to think about how they schedule their games and whatnot. And I say that because obviously this isn't it's the exception, not the rule. But I last season was on a team called Sleepy Juice, now known as Psychosis, and their very first game we played against Lay's Clan. They were a bunch of the profile pictures were a bunch of different flavors of Lay's chips, uh, not sponsored, and and we literally 30-0'd them. Like legit played them. And that was like our first game as a team. Everybody on that team had played in league before. Um, but I know that a bunch of people were coming from like failed teams because the chemistry was really horrible. Or I know me and Darude specifically came or me Darude came from one of the failed teams. Darude was on Sleepy Juice during the midseason and he really didn't like it. And I was off of Uprise and then I left Unicorn. Really nice people, but I'd prefer not to be their teammates. I prefer the way more cutthroat, win at all cost, no matter what it takes, style of Pavlov, because that's just the way I like to play.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I like that too.
they like to have a lot more fun, and that's fine but it's just it wasn't fit for me, and
Yeah.
you know, opinions clashed and whatnot, and you know, you had to move on and shit. But I told Darude and stuff like, you know, like I think this team has a lot of potential. We're gonna be working with like thinking and whatnot. Like it could really work, and I eventually convinced him. Me and Darude had played on teams before. Moving on to the point, we 30-0'd them, and they never played a game after that again. I think I immediately offered to like teach them the very like minimal basics, like properly like taking fights and whatnot, because that much I knew. I wasn't gonna give them strats or anything. Those teams need to figure them out themselves. If they're just told immediately how to do them and they don't practice them correct, and they're just like, okay, like you just need to put two people here and one person here and yada, like, and they don't practice, it's not gonna
Yeah.
work out for
Yeah.
them, and then they're gonna be like, well, this strat doesn't work when it does if they practice it.
Yeah.
But you know, they said maybe, and then they never played a game. Point being is these brand new teams are coming in, and most of them are all brand new. They could be Christmas suits, or they could just be brand new to the league. Um, in very few occasions do people just come in here and tear shit up. I know for a fact that I did not come into this league being uh, n- anywhere near as good as I am now. And
I
I,
think
but
that's
yeah, I mean that's like the general
that's with
consensus
everybody
with
any game. You start
with
off
everybody.
terrible and you
You
eventually
start off
slowly build
terrible, but
up.
there are some people that came into this league and just immediately started dominating.
Yeah.
Um, but
That's
those are
what
the
I did.
exceptions, not the rule. Again,
Yeah.
um, and I really think that the league really needs to look and say, hey, these two teams are brand new. This team did really terrible last season. Not going to name teams, obviously, but this team did really terrible. Let's put them with this team, because what it comes down to is if these teams get 30-0'd like they did beforehand, they start thinking that it's a waste of their time because they couldn't even win one round. What's the point of playing? Because obviously you want to have fun, but if you're getting 30-0'd, how the hell are you supposed to have fun in this game?
Yeah.
I think the league needs to be really careful and they need to be really aware of who they're scheduling their games against. Obviously, you can't protect them from every single team, but for the very first games, their first and second, and if they can, their third games need to be against equal teams, and they
Yeah.
need to, because Sleepy Juice was a very was an exception as a new team. Very many teams or very few teams start out with players that have been in the league for a while, and they just came together just to form like a way better team. A lot of teams did do that in the earlies, but now it's all brand new people. uh, anyway, that was a very long rant, but does anybody
Yeah.
really have anything to like add on to that? Like any
Um,
disagreements, any agreements?
I mean, I come from a different, I guess, school of thought. At least I kind of just in like for real life and for anything really. I'm like more in the school of thought that like you should first experience things for like the raw truth and like how it is. So like with like I remember when I first started horseback riding a long time ago. I haven't done it in a while, but I remember my first day horseback riding. It was like it wasn't really a public thing, but there was a lot of other people riding at the same time. And my first time on, I barely knew how to like ride the horse. You know, I was like walking and slowly walking around the field. Then from the other field to the other side, I saw somebody galloping. You know, and I saw how he started how he would like use his spurs to make the horse run. So despite the wishes of my instructor, I started trotting. I think that's what they called it, where it's almost like a jog, and then I almost fell off the horse. But what I'm trying to say is that like people need to first experience like how hard and how everything can be super like difficult, and then that almost motivates me to like want to become like that. Like I remember first time I started playing S&D and Pavlov, just Pavlov in general. And the first times I played, I remember seeing, I think it was like Vista and Murray and a few others that I think they were really good, and they are still really good. And I remember in that first match I ever played, they kicked me after like 4 or 5 rounds in, and I saw how well they were doing and how amazing they were doing, and that motivated me to get better. And I want to be like them. I want to get better at this game. I want to actually try it, and then just keep like self improving and challenging yourself. You can't just play teams that are same or less than you. You need to play teams that are harder and more experienced than you to make yourself better. It's always about constant. You gotta face people that are better and harder than you so you can rise to their level. At the same time, this is coming from a person who dual wields revolvers now because I've kind of lost interest in that, at least for Pavlov. But I don't know. I think new teams should experience harder things at first. Of course, they should ease into it eventually, but at the same time, I think always face people that are harder than you and don't shy away from people who are better than you.
I 100%
I totally agree
agree
with
with
that.
that.
Yeah.
But in that case, I really just don't like seeing like that's why immediately after we like played them, like I immediately offered to like give them some sort of little bit of help. Like I didn't want to see a team like that go or make them feel like they were just that bad at the game when in reality we all just had experience
Yeah.
prior to before. And they stopped playing. And obviously there could be a whole list of reasons, but I think it was very apparent that they left
Yeah.
because they felt like they did not belong in terms of skill. And I think that really hurts the leagues that like they get paired against, better teams or like way
Yeah.
better teams. And the
But
league wouldn't have
I
been able to know that unless they specifically looked and said, "Hey, this guy's been in the league since season 4. Maybe we shouldn't put them, or a bunch of these guys have been around since season 5 and 6. Like maybe we shouldn't be putting them against these players."
yeah, I don't know. Like for me, like um I don't know. For me, when I think of like, it depends on the person because like some people prefer to be jumped into the hardest thing. They prefer to start running before they learn to crawl, I guess.
That's
And
100% me.
yeah, I love it. I remember like just with that horseback thing and all that stuff, right? But at the same time, there's a lot of people who don't like that and they want to ease into it and slowly make their way into it, and I don't know. And I don't want to say it's a good thing necessarily that if they left because of you guys beating them, maybe that's a good thing, because that means that they didn't like it, they didn't think they were ready for it, and doesn't necessarily mean they'll permanently quit league or anything. It just means that they maybe they didn't belong in the first place, and it was good that they got out early. Because if they didn't, they would just be in an endless loop. Because I know I'm not gonna name names, but
Yeah.
I see people who like they play this game religiously, trying to be like, oh, I'm gonna be the best, and all this stuff, and then at the same time, they're like, they don't blame anything on themselves. They blame everything on others. Like I see so many people who always make excuses for. Like I remember I tried out this one guy, not to name names, when I was Captain Black Ice, and legitimately every time he died, every time he said it, oh the ping, oh the lag, or oh why he shouldn't have killed me or stuff like that, And it's just I not only find it annoying, I just find it like, how are you gonna get better if you don't?
Cowardly.
Yeah, and it's like you're not gonna get better if you just keep blaming it on others. 99, no, not even 99, 100% of the things that cause you to die in this game is really your
Yourself.
fault. It's yourself. It's your own fault. Okay. If you think, oh well, he just sprayed me down with the M249. Well, it's your fault for getting too close after you realize that. Or like double barrel, like, oh, I just got killed by a guy with a Barrett at 100 yards or whatever. well, maybe you should have strategized, maybe throw a util, whatever. It's always your fault if you die,
Hmm.
like every time. So I don't know.
Unless you get team killed.
Well, even then, I mean, you could probably see you could.
Well, yeah, I
yeah,
guess you can still shoot your teammate.
yeah, but
before.
you're not gonna do that, right? But I don't know. It's I don't know. I have like I don't know. That's what I think at least, and I think there's too many people like that in League, or in any, just not just League, in everything, of just people who like blame other people for their mistakes. You know. And I gotta be honest, I was kind of like that at the beginning too. Like when I first started, I was like, oh, I kept dying, and I was like, oh yeah, he's that and that. But maybe like 100 hours in, I was just like, no, I think 99% of the things that I do usually lead to my death. So I either change it or I don't. It's up to me. Only you can change your own, your own play style, your own stuff. So
Yeah,
I don't know. I think more
agree with
people
that.
should hopefully take that to heart. So
Sure. Let's jump into our next thing. Droid, I want you to be the first one to give your thoughts on this. League versus noobs. And what I mean by this is something that Alan went into a little bit. There are people who are super casuals or just casuals that are going around and they're playing and they're just having fun playing S&D, or they're brand new players and these league players are kicking people, and I really want to hear what your thoughts are on league versus casuals or league versus noobs.
Yeah, I don't think it's right to kick people for doing bad. I think it's fine, like if they're obviously AFK or something, but I don't think it's fair to them if you just kick them because they're doing bad. I think you should help them maybe try to learn and help them get better themselves. It's childish to just kick them for being bad.
Okay,
yeah,
what if you're like playing against like a rect stack and they're literally just being idiots? They're not really like playing the game. Like, I'm just giving you different scenarios where like put yourself into shoes of the people that kick noobs. Um, because there are some people who are extreme where like, oh, we're playing against a few thinking players and this guy knows exactly how to play, knows how to play, and is playing well. He just sucks at the game. Let me just kick him. Instead of just kind of like dealing with it. But if they're
To like try to get a better player.
yeah.
If you're so here's what I think. You said rec stack, right? Or like any team. They're stacking the side. They want to practice, right? If they want to practice and the way that like I would practice, it would be I want to face people who are harder or equal to me, right? If they kick somebody who they need help from people who are harder or better than them, it's a dilemma because the people on the other team other than the stack they hopefully want to play against people who are harder than them, but the people who are harder than them don't want to. So then it's just I think it goes both ways because if Rect is stacking in a pub or any team is stacking a pub and kicking people specifically to try to get better players,
Well,
they could always just look for their own lobby or like host another one. They don't necessarily have to kick a person for that,
well, and that's what
Or
I'm. There's also things like that where like thinking makes their own lobby and then they have like 9 people in it, right? And then they don't really have anybody else, and then they kick them out of the lobby because they're playing against Shui or Kraken or any thinking player. I just started naming thinking players. Yeah, what's up? Ah, great, nice. In the middle of the podcast, professional podcast here.
yeah.
No, screw you. Shut up.
Yeah,
So
after that ad break.
yeah, those are some really great energy drinks.
Glasses. See those glasses? These
Ah,
are
yeah.
these are Ray Band
G Fuel, if you want to sponsor me,
G
hit me up.
Fuel
Hit me
Raid
up.
Shadow Legend goggles on him.
Yep.
That's how we get all of our advertising. Oh, honey, they have honey.
Oh yeah, honey, if you want to
Honey
sponsor me,
Skillshare.
dude, literally just $50.
Getting free advertisement.
Free advertisement.
Yeah, no, this is your free advertisement. Never again after. Okay. So
yeah. After that, we have a premium rate.
yeah, premium rate of $50, 25
Yeah.
each.
Oh, a Manscaped.
Manscaped. Okay. And God, we really went off topic there. I had to go do something real quick, but now we're back. Professional podcast here. Anyway,
He had to go slay the magic dragon.
pretty much. Anyway, but yeah, so League versus Casuals, like Droid, you have really anything else to add about that? Because I mean, I see the League side and I see the casual side, and I think a lot of times people are really impatient, um, and it gets really annoying because they don't know how to buy or they don't know how to plant, and it's like it doesn't really matter. You know what I mean?
Tutorial.
Like you need there's a tutorial, right? And that's people's excuses for kicking them. And it's like I've literally probably done it 20 to 30 times before. Like I've done it so many times.
I've never done the tutorial.
Like
Yeah,
not the tutorial, the well, I have
the
done the
whole
tutorial
how to
before
plant,
to
no,
see
but
it,
like
but
how to plant, it's the top left, and then like, oh yeah, and
put it
this is
over
how
this
you buy guns.
great
It
thing. Like
happens.
it takes a round. Like not it like it's a pub game. If it's a league game, which then I don't know why the fuck that person's on the team if he doesn't know how to plant. But
Yeah,
you know like it's not a league game. It doesn't need to be taken so seriously. It's one game out of the multiple that you play a night. Like yeah,
yeah,
Yeah, I
multiple.
don't
I
think you
play
should
all
try
day.
hard if you're
Yeah, no,
I
stacking.
do
all-
no
yeah,
I do try hard when we have a lobby and there's like 8 of
And there's
us.
good players.
And there's
well,
good
I don't.
players and there's 8 of us and then there's 2 randoms, right? That's a different situation though. But if you're just playing and it's you're not even like in split comms, like split VCs where there's 4 people or 4, like you know what I mean? Like if it's just like 2 of your or 3 of your buddies and you have kicking power, like don't fucking abuse that. Like, you know what
That's
I
why
mean?
I like VR Massive. If you haven't heard of VR Massive, it's like 33 or
Oh, VR
32.
Massive sponsor us? Okay.
Yeah, please. But
We'll do $10.
what I love about that is even if you have a 5-player stack and you want to kick somebody or anything, I've never seen a kick pass in that server. They have to either team kill, get team killed, or team kill enough where they get kicked, right? And I think it's such a good thing because it like people are always joining and leaving, so there's always going to be a spot for somebody to join. So if you're like you have a couple of your buddies and just like, oh, just wait for a spot. You'll have one like 2 minutes probably. In an S&D game, you can't just add more people to it, but in VR Massive you can. Okay, and then like you've got I don't know, and then even if like a team tries to stack aside, like you have let's say you get the entirety of one team, 5, 8 players all on one side. Even then, there's so many people that doesn't really make a difference. So I don't know. I think
Sure.
if you're gonna pub VR Massive or like other arbitrary ones like the like other big S&Ds, I think those are perfect for pubs. But I do think for more like S&D pub that aren't community servers, I do think maybe there should be a little bit more you know not necessarily late. Like I think people should like be a little bit more strict because it's their own server that they're hosting with their buddies. And if it's like a eight, the majority, I say if the majority of the people in that lobby are trying hard, and want to get better and practice and all that, I do think that should be the basic like how the lobby works. But if more than half of the lobby is more chill and relaxed, that should be how the lobby works. So 4 people can't just infiltrate, just be like, I'm gonna kick everybody and do it. I
Yeah,
think
that's
it should be a half and half rule. If more than half want this, they have that. If less than half, they don't get that. I think that's how it should
sure.
roll.
But oh, and I'm over here. But like my main thing about it is really just we have people out there that are like I hate league people or I hate like these people and it's like there's certain people out there that are like you're making the league look bad and doing all this shit and it's like yeah, you're making the league look bad and you really shouldn't like some people don't give 2 fucks about it and I think that's a big or that's a problem. It's not a big problem, but I think it's a problem where you have these people who don't care what people really think about the league. They don't care. It doesn't affect them and all this other stuff. And then there's the people on the other side who are super extreme, like you're or you're like you're not PG enough, like you're cussing or you're saying retard
Well,
or something like
Yeah,
that. And it's like, and it's
I've never encountered any of those, but
me neither.
I
I know
have,
one
but
good example of both sides. So I know there's plenty of valid reasons for people to be angry at League, but most of the time they're overstated because a lot of times when I hear someone say that I hate League people, they usually mean specific people from League that they don't like, are better than them, and they don't like people being better than them, or that they've just League people who are in League have been toxic to them, and they just overgeneralize. I never think that when a person says I hate League, they don't mean they hate the entire League. If you truly do, that's insane, because not everybody in the League is exactly how that that person or whatever experience you had is. But at the same time, I've seen League people do the same to TTT and Jailbreak and the same thing. It's you laughed at that, right? It's like it's a running joke that we hate TTT players and TTT players hate us. It's like warfare, okay? So
Sure.
when you keep saying that people like, I consider myself to be in like the middle, okay? I do like League a lot, but I also like pubbing and laughing a lot. Like the fun. I like the fun. If you
Yeah.
have fun, you can still try hard in TTT. You can still have fun in League. But at the same time, like both sides have their stuff, right? So we don't like TTT because we think it's just a bunch of kids that blow our eardrums out and never do anything competitive, right? But then the TTT people think we're just sweaty nerds that play all day and oh wait, I'm kidding. But it's like that type of thing, right? Both sides
Sure.
have their stuff. Like I remember, I don't think Patty actually. Do you remember Patty? Like Sir Mr. Patty. I
Yeah.
know him really well. He doesn't. I haven't seen him play this game for like a year, so I think I can just
He sold
talk
his
about it.
PC.
Oh yeah, he did. Yeah,
He might be coming back in like April, May. I heard.
yeah. But anyway, I'm sure you wouldn't mind. Anyways, or not Doctor Disrespect. The what was the guy? Summit 1G. He was streaming one time, and the main reason why Summit, like at least like he said, or like Summit, I heard from somebody. Apparently, Patty was in his lobby, and I saw some of this happen when it happened. And Patty was in Summit's lobby, and he kept like killing him, killing everybody, and he was like advertising the league, like he was saying join VRML and we're league players and stuff like that. And like, oh my god, he's gonna make. And seriously, I don't watch Summit like that much, but I do know he's never played Pavlov again. Like I've
Yeah.
never seen him play it.
Kind of embarrassing.
Yeah, and it's just, and I think I remember someone said that Summit said that like every time he joins, it's just people trolling and making it hell, and like the S&D is bad or whatever. So I think it just leaves a bad impression in general, especially when you have somebody that big. He doesn't necessarily have leverage per se, but he does have a fan base and community, and if you do it on such a large scale like that, yeah, it doesn't look good on VRML. So
Yeah.
not saying
So
everybody in that situation would do that, but
yeah, and I mean, there's a bunch of people that really like dislike the game because they're like, it's not competitive or it's not this, and it's like people like Summit and I think Shroud also said something about that where he said the game wasn't that good or something. Like, in my opinion, like if you don't like the game, like
no one's
that's
forcing you
that's
to
all
play it.
that's all good. Like for you, you have your own opinion and whatnot. Uh, but if you don't like it because you think it's a bad game, you're probably just not good at the game, and therefore
No,
you don't I'm sorry, but like
not
I've
fair.
literally played this game for so long. There is almost no difference between this and Counter Strike, besides the fact that that
It's
you
VR.
are the VR. It's VR.
Yeah,
Like it is literally Counter Strike in VR, and you have all this stuff. There's it's a little more arcadey and whatnot, like but barely, like you know what I mean. And so I've never seen someone say, they hate this or they really dislike this game, and them being like, and they're like good at it. You know what I mean? Like
I mean,
I haven't come by a
like,
single person like that.
yeah, because like when it's multiplayer, like with CS:GO, I think there's plenty of people who play that game and aren't good at it, but still like it. But with Pavlov, like I think I remember,
Oh
I'm not gonna say anything for Summit or Shroud or whatever, but I do think they're all like league people in the sense of CS:GO and like professional gaming and all that, right?
yeah,
And I think a person of that standard who's regarded as some of the best players in the world for a CS:GO, and then there's a VR version. The people in CS:GO assume that they're going to be amazing at the VR version, but VR is a completely different thing. It's like PC people playing on console, or a console playing on PC. It doesn't translate that well, if at all. Maybe the muscle memory or reflex, not muscle memory, just the reflex hand, not even hand to eye coordination. People say that PC gaming does hand and eye coordination. No, VR does.
yeah.
And like VR does it like it's like that, but on steroids. Okay, and because every movement you do. So but. And it's only going to get more depending how much money you spend. You can get trackers and stuff for your joints and stuff. It's just insane. But I just find it that people, especially people who play a lot of PC games, they buy a VR headset and they're like, "Oh, this sucks. All these games suck. Oh, I keep dying. I must. Oh yeah, the game sucks." But in reality, they don't give it a chance. Because they
Exactly.
used to being good at PC games, and when they get VR, they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna be amazing," because I can shoot. I can get a 30 kill streak in COD. I can get a 30 kill streak in VR in real life, and that type of thing, right? They think that because a lot of VR is like almost like real life shooting. So if you think you're good at moving a controller or pressing some keys on a keyboard, it doesn't translate, and that comes from person. I've played thousands of hours of CS:GO, Siege, um, all that stuff like COD a little bit, and it's completely different. It's a new medium, and people
Does
realize that. So
does
yeah,
being good at shooting in real life translate to VR?
No.
You think?
not necessarily, but I do think like with airsoft or like I remember
Paintball?
no. So
Oh,
I played airsoft once before I got VR. I didn't. My parents don't really like me with using like airsoft, paintball, any of that stuff, right? So I only played it once and I sucked at it. I was terrible at it the first time I played. I didn't play it for like a while. I started playing Pavlov, and then the second time I ever played it, I did pretty good. Same with laser tag. I'd never played laser tag before, and on the first day I started playing it, I got top of the little scoreboard thing. It's like the muscle memory translates, moving your gun up, shooting, aiming, and all that. It translates, and I think not necessarily perfectly one to one. There's so many differences, but I do think VR is like it does help you in like real life.
You know
For at least
what's
or sword fighting or anything.
funny about that? You remember when back in 2020 in like January or so, uh there was like the threat of World War III or whatever, and then there was
yeah.
like console gamers, and they said something. It was like PC gamers, and it's like VR gamers. Like I've been training for my whole life. Yeah, that meme. I'll find it somewhere and I'll flash it up. But like that meme right there, like it's exactly what you just said. Like it feels like that. Like obviously, like if you're good at shooting a gun in real life, you're not going to be good at Pavlov because it's different. You're not holding the gun the same. You have to hold it so that the tracking and all this other stuff. But the just basis of
But
holding the gun up to your eye from VR does translate. There's
yeah, it does
you
translate, and I've become a much better. Like I mean, I haven't gone I don't shoot in real life. The only thing I shoot is like pellet guns for stuff, right? Because my parents aren't that they don't want a gun. But in VR or like for like paintball or airsoft or laser tag, like it has really translated. And I do think that I don't know. I do think that VR, maybe not its current state, is like necessarily one. It will never be one to one with real life, but I do think that does teach you like fundamentals and stuff, and I think it can be used for training. Maybe not now, but I do think in the future. I know there's like companies that actually do that, where they'll give you like firefighter training and police training in
Yeah,
VR.
police training.
Yeah, I've seen it. Like police, and I think it really is the future because if you can imagine how much hours I've put into well, everybody here in League, how many hours you do shooting, guns in VR, and think about how much that would actually like cost, about the amount of bullets you spend shooting, about the guns, the firearms, and if you could just train that in a different reality for like $60 and on like for the game, and then like $1,000 for the headset, and you could just share it inside, your police department, fire department, whatever.
that's
Suddenly
thousands.
it becomes yeah no, but like if you just have one headset or whatever, but you
Yeah.
cost $10,000 to have training in VR instead of paying hundreds of thousands to do training sessions on big actual buildings that you're gonna set on fire, or on kill houses that use paint ammunition with real guns and stuff. That
Yeah.
costs a lot more than if you just did in VR. In VR, it's almost more realistic. You see the you know
Okay. I
it's more
think
real than real life. It's you
I think everyone gets the point. I really want to move
yeah.
topics on because
Sorry.
we've
It's
been
just
doing this for
I just
quite
love
a
VR.
bit. Yeah, I think we all do. I just hit
Are you a VR
1,500
athlete?
hours, so You know.
Yeah.
What about like community servers? Like you were talking
VR
about, like
Massive?
VR Massive. Do we think that takes away from like
I think
the
it
S
adds
and
to
D
it
side?
by a lot.
I
In
You
what
know,
ways? What do you think?
well, VR Massive specifically, they have their own website, their own scoreboard. They let you change your skins. They do a lot of stuff, and they have like incentive to play, and they have like seasons. So like, I think for this winter season, people play this so much. You know, Pon Head.
Yeah,
He has over 7 to
5,000,
8,000
6,000
kills
kills.
in the
Yeah,
past. Yeah, he's an insane amount of kills, and then it's followed like by like Greta, and then there's like I think Handyclapper and all those people,
yeah,
right? They play a lot, and there's a whole sub community within Pavlov of like VR Massive. And VR Massive, I think, is a good place to start learning Pavlov because it's such if your PC can handle it, because you know it can get a little rough with 30
Yeah,
people.
my game never runs good on that.
Yeah,
I don't play
yeah.
but
much.
no, but if you're able to run it, I do think it's perfect because if there's a person who's like asking like how do I plant the bomb, you know, you've got instead of like 4 people around you on your team, you have like much
20.
less of a chance if and no, you have much more of a chance if you have 20 people, you know, just running around shooting people. And I think it gives you much more of like, you know, training. If you're gonna
Hmm.
like S&D, you know,
Hmm.
like in S&D normally you have like 4 opportunities or you have like 5 enemies to kill, right? You got 4 teammates. And you see you see only the ways that those 5 people move. But if you have, I don't know, 20 people on the enemy team, you suddenly see all the different routes people do. And if you die early, you can zoom out and see everywhere it goes, like how everyone goes and different sites. And it's almost like watching like ghost replays. If you've seen like in some video games, you know, you see like a replay or like replays of other people moving throughout your game. It's like having that like with 4 different things. So you see how people fight in different corridors with different amounts of people. I just think it's great. That's just
Yeah.
I don't know.
Jordan, what do you think about these servers? Or even just
Uh,
like the jailbreak servers too. Like really
oh, I
all
love
of them.
Jailbreak. I've played Jailbreak since it first came out when it was just a custom server with only 10 people that you could do. Like I love Jailbreak. I love TTT, but I don't like the VRMS server as much because I don't like when there's like 30 people because
Yeah.
it doesn't
It
really
gets a
run
little
well. That's
much
why
sometimes. And
No,
I
yeah,
yeah, I like
and I agree with that. Like some PCs just can't handle it, or it's not the same game then.
quality. Yeah.
But I think for like a server, I think it is like it's cool. Like you get to have a lot more people. You don't have to be restricted to the 10 people in this lobby. Like who do we have to kick out so that my best friend can come in and play with me? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's a
One
good
thing,
it's a good alternative to the 10 people servers, but I think
yeah.
that there's still some optimizations and
I think there should be more options you can do, not just spawning and god mode and different skins and stuff. I think there should be more like options, you know, like maybe the ability to spawn custom maps or load maps instant. I think there's already that, but like have like custom things and interactions within those maps. So you can make like a death run where the admins control, like you can spawn a explosion right there or something, or spawn a tank in the middle that's like AI controlled or something like that. You know, I don't know, but at the same time, I think one community server people are overlooking or like was Life Mod. I didn't like Life Mod initially, but I heard they're making it like a dark RP style one
hmm,
soon. I heard
yeah.
something about that. And I'm not sure how much you know about the RP community, but I personally think VR RP. I've never really done it because I've only done like DayZ RP and GTA 5 and all that stuff. But RP is, when it's done right, is great. Okay,
oh
it's
yeah.
like
It's really
imagine your own
fun.
story. Imagine your own story. You're writing your own book, but your book is part of one giant book of everybody else's stories and an overwhelming outside world story, right? And you're just a small part of it. And it's just and you're the one controlling that little bit. And it's just I don't know, I just find that amazing. And like with you know, I personally like types of servers that you play a character other than yourself, and if that character dies in a certain way, that character is dead. Like you're dead, you can't play it again. I personally like that because it makes you have an emotional bond with that character. And just I've only done that for like DayZ, but for if that happened in VR, if there's like an actual like RP in VR, like imagine like GTA 5 RP, but it's an open world in VR. That would just add so much stuff, and I just think
Probably,
Pavlov. It probably won't happen in Pavlov anytime soon. It might be another game that's more optimized for it, but Pavlov.
Sure.
I remember it. I think that Dark RP server, it's promising. I think it's still in like alpha or in development,
It's in
so I
like
don't
development, yeah, but people have
yeah.
played
it's
on
still
it
in
before.
development.
Yeah, and I've heard it's pretty good. It's like not even pretty good. It's really good. So
Yeah.
I'm hyped for it. I want to see what happens with it, and that might be a pretty good community server to keep your eyes out for. So
Sure. Droid, what like anything else you want to add to community
I mean,
servers?
Survival
and-
2020 is
Oh
also it's
yeah,
kind of like DayZ. You know,
yeah,
you could play a character if you wanted, and just until you die. And
yeah,
it's like
but
you find guns and you make teams kill people.
yeah, I don't know. For that, at least when I played it, was too like arcadey almost. Like it was like DayZ, but
it
it was
it's
like
exactly like DayZ, but the difference is that there's no rules to the server, so it's all
yeah.
just
And there's not a theme either. It's just you find guns, you shoot people. It's like
Yeah, make
PUBG with
teams.
respawns. You know?
sure. I think but like that those are like the stepping stones.
Yeah,
You
they're just
have
stepping stones.
the survival part now.
Now
Add
add
an
RP.
RP or something like that. Sure.
Yeah.
And there goes my controller for the 7th time. I need to find a better system because they fall right off my hands.
Just get like selfie sticks for phones. Just duct tape those to your hands, then
Sure.
duct tape the controllers, and then just wave it around.
So we can
party
either
sticks.
talk about the OG maps that are being made, the OG map pool, or the Arctic competition. We could probably talk about two of them, but we can't talk about. We're running a little short on
Yeah,
time.
I'm a little low on time myself.
So which one do we want to talk about? Because I have a few good topics about each one.
Well, we could save it for next episode because I only got like 10 minutes.
Okay,
So
let's
sign
okay.
off.
No,
Very
no, 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 no,
professional
no, 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 no,
podcast.
no, no.
Okay.
Let's talk about how there are sub maps out there that look really, really good and play terribly.
Hmm. Well, there's a lot of maps I know that are still all of them are in development constantly.
Okay, hold up. Sorry. Before you start, playing terribly is a very, very poor choice of words. Words there. What I meant to say is that it's not the best competitive map, or there's something wrong with it, but they just look absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
I know, in my opinion, sorry for cutting you off, but real quick, in my opinion, there are maps out there like Stallbreaker and Luxor that look super
Yeah, they
duper
look really good.
so good. They look so good, but a rotate's too long or a rotate's too short or this lane isn't
Yeah.
right, and it's like something where like you can't really fix that because then you'd have to change the entire map, and it's like not every like when you're making a map, there's the guy that makes the layout and there's the guy that texture or that like builds it, makes it real, and textures it.
And
The guy.
sometimes everybody is just one person. So
Well, yeah, but I think a lot of these map makers like Dig was really good by John. It looks really good and he does really good with his assets. But I think if he were to work with someone and like that made a layout, um he could make like a really really good looking map with a really good layout that could be like
Yeah.
CS:GO standards, and I'm really hoping to see it. Obviously, there's people out there that like all of these OG maps. I'm honestly I have a little bit more of a heart towards the Counter-Strike maps, but
yeah.
like I'm just like the not every map is going to be in the map pool. Um and so I think if like there's certain people out there that should really maybe just try to find someone to partner with.
I
And
just think people overhype the CS because sure it's time tested, it's been used for many years. But I think VR is a new medium, right? And
Mhm.
I think not they always build from the past, right? Like the CS older CS maps still draw inspiration for the new maps and for the newer ones and all that. There's lanes, there's basic standards that have been set. But I do think there should be like new, like, just stuff that makes each map like play different than just like, oh yeah, this one has 3 lanes, this one has 2 lanes, and then they're essentially a retexture of this map. I think they should experiment. I remember Museum did that for a fair bit, and they still have to do it now. They had one-way windows. A lot of people
Yeah,
didn't like that. I personally thought that it added its own unique take to it, and where the coin flip of choosing a side really did matter a lot more. You know, like each map has, but I don't want to just be luck, but each map has like different, like, I think each map should have like different types of like pros and cons to each side. T side
As
might have a
every
longer
map
rotate.
should.
Yeah, every good map should, but not just of like positioning and all that. It should have its own like little things, like,
Creativity
yeah,
and special
creativity.
things
Like
about it.
instead of think about it, maybe B site could be really close to you, but you have to climb a long ladder to it. And if you have to rotate, you break your legs or something, right? But then A site is a lot is a lot longer to get to. I don't know. I don't know much about map making. I
Sure,
know it's
yeah,
very hard. I know
I
it's
get
very time consuming, and it's hard,
I get where
visualize
you're
it. But
coming from, but
yeah,
I don't know. I just hate to see, in my personal opinion, see these people make such great looking maps, and their like feedback is something that would
really bad
is like really, or well, not even just really
or
bad.
critical.
It's like critical, and it makes them like, oh well, if they have to change this, then they have to redo a whole shit ton of textures.
yeah,
And if they had maybe done the layout differently, like there's always a what if I did this, what if. But my
yeah.
point being is, um, I think a lot of these map makers like Crackers and John, should really partner with people who might be a little bit better at making layouts. I'm
Well,
not saying that they can't make good layouts. I know that Crackers made Reach Sky, but I'm pretty sure
the Reach guy's fun.
didn't
I
he
love Reach Guy.
didn't he partner with someone for Reach Sky that made the layout?
I don't remember. I
I
think
don't know,
I don't know.
but like yeah, like they're all made good maps before. John has made good maps before. He's made Dig.
Yeah.
He's made what was his other map? Oh my god.
McDonald's.
Well, no. Like
I know,
actual
but
S&D.
yeah.
What was his other one besides Luxor? Am I just really gonna draw a
I'm
blank
pretty
on
sure
that?
did you stall the stall bringer whatever?
No, Stallbreaker
No,
was
it was older.
Crackers.
It was older. It was
Um,
older.
I
I don't remember.
I can't
I
remember.
do
Well,
know
he did
Maverick made Legend and Seaside,
Legend.
both of which I have no, but that was Maverick. And
Yeah,
I personally like Museum. I think
I
both
think it's okay. I think
yeah,
there are little balance issues, but each
yeah.
side, like
I mean, think about it.
has its
Legend
pros. Legend
Legend
was
was
such a
like,
good map in my opinion, and I
I
think
like Legend, but I think he got the best parts from Legend, best parts from Seaside, with a little bit of jank and a little bit of still his style and stuff
yeah,
is sprinkled on, and then he made Museum, and I think Museum's a good, like,
sure,
it has its own, it almost
sure,
has its own lore, with its DE gift shop, DE this, DE that. I like it. I like it, and I think it's that type of creativity and that type of, because sure, if you have the best textures and you have like awesome looking map, but it doesn't really make sense. Like if you have like, I remember with that one castle map when we were doing the box out, there was like castle stuff, but then there's also like some propane tanks and stuff just laying around, or like there has to be like a reason for it. Like with like Inferno or any CS map,
yeah,
like
sure.
it has its overarching theme, you know,
But
that like a reason to do that. And like
yeah,
sure, it doesn't really matter competitively. Like sure, we could be blowing up a crate full of eggplants for all I know, but I don't know, it just feels better just that, like, we're exploding a bunch of munitions that could help, it's like lore, I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know. It's just,
But like,
yeah.
What is your take on this? I really want to hear this.
um, yeah, I like the themes. I like the oil rig and
Yeah,
how
oil rig's fun.
Seaside's,
That's really
it's
nice.
fish themed. There's like fish paintings and
Yeah.
stuff like that, and pipes too.
Yeah,
It's
pipes is
Yeah,
great.
underground. I think they're all good, but yeah, I like the theme aspect. And if it's
Yeah.
just a bunch of mess, that's not very fun to play, in
Yeah,
my
like
opinion.
Legend was like that. It was like just it was like an amalgamation of a bunch of stuff. And it fit the
yeah.
style of it. The style was a bunch of random stuff, but
or like it was like a
But-
tear down city, so it looked like a whole bunch of graffiti and overgrown
except
shit. And
when
like,
there was a bunch of there's almost like Lego pieces and there's random statues that made no sense, you know, and like
Sure.
that type of
Yeah.
stuff.
I think if he literally just redid it and cleaned it up just a tiny bit, I mean,
Yeah, I'd like
like
that.
I mean, I
a
like it.
Legend V2.
I know that his thing was that he went up to people and asked them if they wanted this in or that in, or
Yeah.
like team logos, and almost everyone said yeah. Like why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
But I think it got to the point where he asked every team, and then there was a whole bunch of different shit. And I think if he
Yeah.
literally just went ahead and cleaned it up, took the best like logos or the best teams and whatnot, or and
my
some stuff that worked, you know, like the graffiti that I think you made, right? You made
I was
some
about to say
stuff for
that. I made 2 pieces of artwork which have been on I think all of his maps. The one of which I just called Pavlov Graffiti, which which now he calls it DE Gamer and DE Game for both of them. And they've been on all of his maps, or at least like the S&D maps. It's been on Legend, it's been on Seaside, and it's been on Museum. And
Yeah.
actually on Legend, it was each one had in the spawn area was my artwork. On Seaside, I think it was in like that little upper mini museum art gallery. I think it was in. I don't remember. And then for the museum, it's actually the bomb site. Personally, I don't know why he likes it so much. I like it, but I don't like it enough where I'd make it the bomb site, you know, and a giant thing that has my name on. I appreciate. I really like the fact he you know he thought it was that good, and like I like it, but I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
I just yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah. Anyway, the overarching point is, people who make really good assets should partner with people who make really good layouts, and I wanna see that super map. You know, there's teams out there that get all the best players. Let's get all the people who are best at doing one thing and the other, and put them together, and let's make
That'd
this
be good.
a super map. I think that'd be really
Like
cool.
I do the guy who made Oil Rig and Reach Sky collab.
Remus.
Oh
Like,
yeah, Remus.
Remus and Kraka.
Remus, it's Oil Rig's a good map, but
I like it.
I like it a lot. I think there are a few things that I don't like
He's
about it.
changed a lot from when
Yeah,
it first
he did.
was.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But I
I
think
remember.
if Remus partnered with Crackers or John, I think that would be
Or
like literally
Maverick,
or
too.
more or Maverick. But Maverick also
Yeah.
does really good with like he does both. Where
Maverick
like
does a good layout. Yeah.
where the assets are pretty good and the layouts are pretty good. He gets the best of both worlds and puts them together.
Yeah.
But some map makers aren't, you know, can't do that or don't do that because they don't have the knowledge and the experience.
Yeah.
Anyway, Droid, do you have anything else to add to the podcast? Anything you want people to know before we sign off?
I'm the best in Palo VR.
Okay.
Well, you heard it here, ladies
You heard
and
it here
gentlemen.
first, folks. He is the What words did you say? I don't think we can legally say a lot.
VR athlete.
VR athlete. Okay,
Okay,
he's the
okay.
VR athlete for
He's-
Pavlov. All right.
Okay.
I don't think we can legally say you're the best. You know.
Yeah,
I
sure.
think it's
Because we're
arguable
legally, we
point.
would literally
Everyone
get
knows.
We're
sued.
neutral.
We would get
Yeah,
sued.
we get sued.
We'd
I'm
get
pretty
you
sure
know?
everyone recognized me.
More
as
than that,
the-
I just refuse to say that sentence and your name together.
Yeah.
So
I'm kidding, but
we're kidding.
you know,
But I mean,
but-
thank you for coming on to the podcast.
Yeah.
It's good that you really were adamant about it, and I'm really glad to see that people want to.
and
be
we're
on
sorry
the
we
podcast.
didn't. We kind of just went on a bunch of tangents, and you didn't.
Yeah,
fine.
we did. I'm
Yeah.
trying. You know, we're
I'm
trying to get
sorry.
better at this. Obviously, he'll just be in season 2, right? And then we'll
Yeah.
get
we'll get you in on season
season.
326.
Yeah.
Okay, no. How about this? We'll get him in episode 24 and a half. He'll join in the middle of the 24th
I would have
podcast.
gone
Yeah.
with. I would have gone 56, but okay.
Okay,
Yeah, I
50.
can go with
We'll pen you
That's
in our
fine with me.
schedules anyway.
Doable.
Well, yeah. Anyway, point being is, thank you for coming to the podcast. If you
Yeah,
liked it,
we appreciate
like
you
it. If you
guys.
didn't dislike it,
We appreciate the like 3 viewers we're gonna get on this. Okay?
oh yeah. And
So-
let me know if there's anybody that you want to see, because there's a few people that I've asked out there that I really want to wait on getting them on there. Some of them are adamant about it, and some of them are a little ish on it. So if you show that,
want to have an interview or want to have a discussion, or hell, we could have multiple different teams in one go. If you really want to duke it out in a
Yeah, you need
If you want to have the
I
Pavlov
want it to
team
debate
debate of the
and
century,
debate.
we'll bring.
Pavlov debate team, you can have team 1, team 2, and you guys just duke it out in verbally.
Yeah, let us know if you want to, what you guys want to
And
see. For now, I've been your co-host, Explosion. This has been
I've
my
been your co-host,
co-host.
Alan, and that's the random guy we invited
This
here.
is
Also
this is the
Droid.
random guy that begged to be on the show, Droid, and this has been
I
Pavlov
demanded.
Scrubs.
All right,
Bye.
bye everybody.
Bye.